from a really sad ending to an even sadder opening with like Bob being there and the rest of the husbands. I just feel like we're never going to get rid of the husbands, and I hate it. I hate it. This is the Real Housewives of Atlanta. I'm so sick of seeing the husbands, but I get why they're there. So Andy brings in Bob and Peter and Todd, but he calls him like some other name, Melvin, trying to be messy again, messy Andy Cohen. So anyway, he starts talking to Sheree and Bob, and he asks he basically asks Bob to explain himself. You know, we all saw how terrible he was to Sheree, and, you know, this is your time, so speak on it. And I am actually shocked because Bob took responsibility for everything. Apologized. I believed his apology. Andy even asked him, like, how do you speak to your son about it? How do you talk to your kids? And he was like, well, it's on me to have that conversation with them, and I'm afraid to have it. But I know that I have to have that conversation, and, you know, it won't happen with Cairo if Cairo cherishes the woman that he's with and not do it like me, where I cherish myself more than Sheree. As a man, I cherish myself, and I had myself out front of her when I should have had her beside me. I was like, what? Wait a minute. But abusers know how to talk slick. So I don't know if I necessarily believe everything, but I was glad that he took responsibility, and Sheree as well. She was glad, but she was just like, I've heard this before, you know. And Andy was like, do you think you guys are going to get together, you know? Because Candy was just like, I don't think you should close the door. And when she said that, I was just like, but then she cleaned it up. She was just like, I don't think you should close the door on communicating, so you know, with Bob, so that you guys can communicate, at least for the sake of your children. So I was like, okay. Thank you for cleaning it up, Candy, because I know you would have been red in the comments if you said anything different. And Sheree, and then Andy was just like, well, is the door closed for you for a relationship? She was just like, listen, I'll be open to Bob in a friendship. I'll leave that door open so we can have a friendship, you know, and, you know, just be able to coexist for our children. But he is not where I need him to be at all for a relationship. So I was very proud of Sheree. I was glad that Sheree was like, nah, we're done. You know, this family dynamic is over. We're not going to be in a relationship, but we will communicate concerning our kids. So I was really, really happy for her. Then, girl, then Andy asked if anybody has anything else to say, and Peter was just like, I was disgusted. I was disgusted by what I saw. And, you know, if I was his friend, sorry, Jamaican people. If I was his friend, I'd punch him in his face over and over and over again. I'm like, Peter, sit your 4-5 self down. Because even Bob was looking at him like, if you feeling froggy, little man, leap. Peter always acts so tough, and it's like, I'm sorry, Mr. Peter, but none of us believe it. Like, none of us believe that you're this tough dude. But I think he has like this like visceral Jamaican personality where it's, I don't know if you know any Jamaican people, my stepdad is Jamaican, and I'm telling you, he's the cockiest dude I've ever met. Like, you cannot tell this dude that he is not God's gift to women. He is not God's gift to Americans. Like, it's just so funny. So when Peter goes off like that, I'm like, I'm looking at my stepdad. This is my stepdad. We sit there, we just listen to him go off, and we just like, oh really? So you took the gun, you disarmed him? Oh, you put him in a headlock? Really? You fought 40 men barefoot, and all you got was a scratch on your face. Yeah, okay. This is what I feel about Peter. It's just, he's sitting there saying this stuff and talking tough to Sheree's Bob, who is like 7 feet tall, and he's telling him that he'll punch him in his face over and over and over again. Sit down, Mr. Peter. Sit down. Peter is so extra. Oh, goodness. He is so extra. So Andy starts talking. I think Andy's like going through the couples. So he switched gears and he goes over to Cynthia and Peter. And honestly, this is just really, really sad. But I feel like Peter was putting it on because he still loves Cynthia and he still wants to be with Cynthia. And I really felt bad for him. And I don't feel bad for Peter a lot. I felt bad for him this season because I did feel like Cynthia was leading him on in a lot of situations, even though she was done with him. I do feel like she was leading him on for storyline this season, and I felt bad for him in that situation, but Peter is just so extra. Like, Andy is asking him these questions about Cynthia, or and he's really honest and he's really open about it. Like, Andy asks Cynthia, like, what was the problem? What was the issue? Was it finances? And Cynthia, like, dances around it. But at the end of the day, it was financial problems. She did not know how to stand by her man when the ship was sinking. And that's why you have to be really careful of the vows. It is absolutely okay to not want to be in a relationship with someone who you are dependent upon, who is irresponsible with money. That is okay. But when you say till death do us part, for richer or poor, your vows are basically, I will be there with you through every trial and tribulation, through the ups and the downs, through the good and the bad. I want to walk out my life with you. And I don't think she knew all that she needed to know about him financially. That's very important, especially us ladies. We go into these situations with these men, and we're like, he got me. And you check your man's finances, his credit is shot. He don't know how to pay a bill. He got bills in different names, you know, in relationships, period. Especially in the marriage. If you're going to join together legally, you have to know what is going on with your partner's finances. And I don't think Cynthia knew that. I think the signs were there. But I felt like she wanted to be married, or she felt like she had to marry Peter to make Peter happy, which is why I'm so glad that she is living her life, her remaining 50 years for her. So I'm so happy about that. But she finally explained that she just didn't, you know, she was resentful of Peter because he kept on, you know, just being dishonest about their financial businesses and things of that nature. And I understand. I understand. When Cynthia said we would get into a good space, but I could not shake that resentment. I said, oh, girl, yes, I know what she's talking about. She just couldn't shake it. You know, she loved him, but she didn't trust him. And when you don't trust your partner, there is no relationship. So, it's not an infidelity, a physical infidelity, but it is there is a financial infidelity there. We live in a capitalist nation. You need money to survive. And especially when on your own you were doing good and making some coin, and then you link up with somebody and you're in financial distress that you have never in your life experienced, that's hard. And you have to want to work through those dark times. I don't think Cynthia loved Peter enough to continue to stay on the sinking ship. Even if it was coming up for air every once in a while. And I don't blame her. You know, but I did feel bad for Peter. And I do feel like he was putting it on when Andy was asking him if he was dating somebody, and asked him if he had sex with Cynthia. And he was like, I can't have all of her. I don't want none of her. And, you know, just being very, very extra. I'm dating somebody that I like a whole lot. It was just really, really extra. They are going to keep him on the show, but it's weird because him and Cynthia aren't together anymore, so I don't know how he's going to remain a cast member, but Peter turns it up all the time, so I'm thinking that we're still going to see him in this Housewife franchise, and I'm fine with that, but just cut down his scenes, please, Andy, for all the men. Unless it's Dwight, I don't want to see them this much. What in the hell is going on with Peter? Trying to get through this episode, but I mean, he keeps on interrupting Andy. Like, he came in, I don't know if he's drunk, but he came in sitting on ready. Like, he is coming after Portia and Phaedra. Like, Andy tries to ask Portia about Todd, and like, while he's in the process of asking the question, Peter's just like sitting, leaning back. Where's Todd? Why ain't he here, Portia? Like, what is going on with these, sir? Then, like, Andy asked Phaedra about Portia and how she thought the baby nut was ridiculous. And she's like, I just wanted her to have the whole package. And then Peter was like, do you have the whole package? You're divorced. Ain't that right? Like, what is going on? Oh, man. Phaedra was sitting there like, Peter is lit. That's what it is. Peter is lit and he's angry. So, man, that liquid courage got him feeling himself because he's threatening to punch Bob in his face over and over again. Now he's coming after Phaedra and Portia. Whew, who's next, Peter? Who's next? Let's keep watching. So then his dramatic drunk behind walks off set. And it wasn't that deep. What happened? Did I miss something last reunion? I didn't watch the last reunion, so maybe I need to go back and watch the last reunion, because Peter is really upset at Portia and Phaedra. Like, he went in the men's bathroom screaming about them, then he's screaming for a drink, then he like turns to the camera and says, Cynthia Bailey, I wish you were stronger because we would have been amazing. Who wants to be with you and your crazy behind? Boy, sit down. This is why you don't have the men on the show. They are more dramatic than the women. Shamia joins us, and I feel like she's working on that peach, because she was up there for a minute and she was the topic of conversation. She was actually brought up about how awkward it is to be really good friends with Kandi and best friends with Portia, and Portia admitted that her and Shamia haven't talked since that scene was aired. I honestly get it. I wouldn't talk to her either. Then Portia is talking about how she tried to apologize to Shamia. Then Kenya jumps in and says something. And Andy, I don't think Andy is, I don't think he favors Kenya. I would just be real honest. Andy checks Kenya a lot. I don't think he favors her at all, because I feel like there are a lot of violations on the reunion stage. And of course, in my opinion, Kenya violates the most. So maybe he's just sick of her not being able to control her in this setting. I don't know, but when Portia was speaking, she was getting heated, and then Kenya brought up the anger management, and I think that set Andy off, and I'm glad he addressed it, because that set me off too. I hate that she keeps on bringing up her anger management like she did not deserve to get bopped in her head. That boils my blood. But Andy was just like, you interrupted her apology. She was speaking, let her apologize. And I don't think I've ever seen Andy go up for anybody like that before, so I was like, ooh, Andy can't stand Kenya. Yes, Andy, you sick of her too. I'm not trying to be petty, but did you see Kenya's ashy leg? When she crossed the leg and she pulled up her dress, she's like, I'm not about to let nobody tell me to shut the F up. And she lifted up her leg. And I'm telling you, listen, I'm not judging, because we've all been there. We've all been victims, especially if you're dark skinned, all been victims of lotioning it up only to the part where people are going to see. I could bring insurance or a dress, like, ain't nobody gonna see all the way up here, so I'll just lotion it right here. Because, honey, you could tell where the lotion started and stopped. Girl, you got to lotion every part. You got to put the baby oil on every aspect of that leg if you're gonna have your bruised leg to the side and open. Girl, you got to come correct with that. You cannot be that messy and talk about everybody and not have your lotion game on point. That's the first violation in the hood. People always come for dark-skinned people about ash. You got to come ready, girl. As a fellow dark-skinned, I'm disappointed. So we about to get in the lesbian gate. Because as Portia is apologizing to Shamia, Kandi is like, now wait a minute, wait. Because I think that Portia and Shamia are really good friends, and I feel like they're friends to the point where they've had ups and downs, but I feel like maybe Shamia is a better friend to Portia. Anyway, Shamia forgave her or whatever, and Kandi was not okay with that. Kandi was being petty. This is the thing. And women do this because Shamia is her good friend and she's best friends with somebody that she hates. She's going to try to continue to throw dirt on this person, bring bones back to Shamia, to try to lessen Portia in her eyes. And I don't know. Kandi, that's just a real weird place to be in. That's a messy place to be in. You never want to be in that position. I've been in that position before. I've been in between friends, and I've been in a situation like this before. I had 2 roommates back in the day, and one roommate was just terrible. But my other roommate, who I loved, we was like besties, she was cool with this girl, the roommate, and the other roommate was just so terrible. And when they would fall out, she would like say stuff to me, and I'm just like, I'm going back to my friend, and I'm like, girl, she said this. But I have to be honest, I was bringing back the bone to my friend about the mess that she was saying about her, because one, that's my bestie. You're not gonna sit up there and talk about her like she garbage, and especially not to me. There also was a part of me taking this information back to her because I wanted her to see how terrible this person was. And because I was always in the middle trying to make her see this girl for how terrible a person she is, it looked bad on me. It reflected on me, and I had to take myself out of the situation so they were able to see whatever, and they don't even talk anymore. So, all Okay, but I don't talk to her either. You know what I mean? But again, I was young. I was like early 20. You know, I was a baby when that happened. Y'all in y'all 30s leaning on to 40. Like, y'all got to do better. Y'all have got to do better. But I feel like that's what Kandi is doing. Like, she's trying to bring, you know, she's trying to get Shamia to see Portia in a certain way because she doesn't want her good friend being friends with her enemy. And she also doesn't like how Portia is treating her. I get it, Kandi, but girl, get out of it. Get out of it, because you will always look like the bad guy no matter what. Just step out of it and let Shamia see Portia for who she is or how you want her to see her, whatever. If she's doing something wrong that you don't like, if she's not being a good friend to her, which I agree with, she will see it. Get out of it, girl. Get out of it. I do believe that y'all are really close like that. Okay. Cynthia, Peter, Thomas Bailey, girl, sit down and stop. So Andy shows this clip of freaking frack, and you know, whatever. I like them. I get that. I agree with Kandi because she said that she feels like they don't have a friendship. They have an alliance. But this is how this show is. You know what I mean? Then Cynthia jumps in and she says that me and Kenya have a friendship. I don't think they really have a friendship because they don't, they agree with each other to a fault. Cynthia, shut up. You don't really have a friendship with Kenya. Do you remember how your friendship with Kenya came to be? Because you were getting with Kenya to have an alliance against Nene because she wasn't rocking with you. Girl, sit down. You and yet Kenya friendship is pure fakery and foolishness. You are Kenya's flunky. She cusses you out whenever she feels like it, but she only does that when she knows that you'll come back. When you get to a space where she feels like she's losing you, she'll do whatever she can to get you back, because at the end of the day, you're the only one on that show she got. If she ain't got you, Kenya is gone. Girl, sit down. I was listening to this whole situation with them and, you know, everybody going back and forth. And Shamia, I'm about to get into you too, because listen, say what you want, but I don't like nobody coming from main cast members. I do not like it. This is their show. You bow down and you respect the cast members. You can have a disagreement, but when you get on that reunion stage, you act right. How dare you come for anybody on that stage, you day player? I am so upset with how day players are just, you know, puffing up their chest and acting real extra. You are an extra. Sit all the way down. Shamia's part so deep. Girl! It's like, it's like this thick. I'm trying to watch the episode. I'm looking, I'm like, girl, just move the hair over. Because listen, this is why I put the side of my hair right here. Because I used to get box braids back in the day, and listen, it did a number on my edges. So I know where the missing spaces are. So I know how to apply the hair correctly. You didn't see that before you got on camera? I'm trying to stay focused, but I keep on looking at this part. The blood of Jesus. Shamia gotta go. She gotta go. Like, she's being like real petty and just disrespect. I don't know. I feel like I can accept it from another housewife. I can't accept it from her because she's not on the show. And I don't know. I just feel like this is their show. And I don't like other people coming in and being able to just like take them. Like, if you don't have a peach, I don't feel like you should be sitting up here. I don't think we should have had this much time with Shamia. Her reads are low and corny. Like, if this is how your audition is going for you to get a peach, I hope you don't get it, because you just seem like you're going to just join in with Kenya and Kandi and Cynthia and just make the clique even bigger. And I'm just sick of that. If we're going to bring in a new person, I would rather it be like new, somebody people know about but don't really have a relationship with. Because this right here, I don't feel like the lesbian gate go. Like, this whole season, it was just too dramatic. The storylines were just boring and over it. And if she comes on this show, I hope she comes up with a new storyline, maybe African connection or something. I don't know, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing. I didn't really like her scenes in the whole season as well. I felt like she was just really, no tea, no shade, but I feel like Marlo does the same thing, but I'm rooting for her to be on the show. I feel like she intimidates some housewives, so she knows how to play ball. I don't feel like Shamia is that type of person, but I feel like her and Marlo were both auditioning this season and they both were doing the most. But I like Marlo because she's fabulous and her reads are good. Shamia is not. It's just low and petty and annoying. She keeps on coming for Phaedra. I know y'all have issues, but girl, say your piece and get off the stage. Her and Peter Thomas, what in the same? So then we spend an unnecessary amount of time on lesbian gate. Todd comes back out. Oh gosh, I miss Todd when he was behind the scenes. I hate him on the show. I hate all the men on the show. I do not I hate them, but I hate them being on the show. I do not like it. I'm just so over it. Todd comes out and it's just like he's not I don't believe anything that I don't believe anything that either one of them are saying. I don't believe anything that Todd is saying. I don't believe anything that Candy is saying. And I don't believe anything that Portia is saying about lesbian gate, because I honestly feel like whatever the truth is, they're ashamed of it and they don't want to talk about it. So I just don't know why half of the reunion was spent on lesbian gate. Andy, this could have been 2 hours. You know what? Moving forward, please make your reunions just 2 hours. We don't need a four-part reunion. There was nothing four-part about the Real Housewives of Atlanta reunion. Nothing. It was just petty and a waste of time. There was nothing that needed to be broken down into 4 parts. Let me edit. Let me edit it next time. I'll give you a good 2-hour reunion. We will stick around for that. But this 4-part was so unnecessary because it was, I'm telling you, I feel like it was like 20 minutes, 30 minutes of lesbian gate. The both of them, you did this, you did, they're rehashing stuff that was said throughout the season that already exhausted the viewers. We are so over it. The only thing about this that I did like was that a viewer, Andy, wrote in about the homophobia. Remember, I talked about it in my reviews prior that I did not like the way that they were throwing out lesbian and Candy, she the B and LGBT. I just didn't like it because it was basically straight making fun of, in my opinion, lesbians. I did not like them. I did not like them, not making fun of, but making it seem like they're bad, and even so what they were doing is shameful and all of that stuff. So it was just a negative connotation that they were giving off with this whole lesbian gate, and I did not like it. So I'm glad that it was addressed, but neither one of them really addressed it. But to be honest, whatever they did, they're ashamed about it. They don't want it to get out, so everybody's telling these lies. I'm not gonna, Andy keeps on going to Todd. For what? He's gonna side with his wife. He's not trying to get put out, girl. Okay, and I ain't mad at him, okay? So I just don't know why we stayed here. It was just annoying. I was over it, and I just wish they would have moved on. I'm telling you, I could never. I don't know how these women get wet for men that go after women. I just can't. I could never in my life lie down with a man that goes back and forth with like women, like gets into my arguments. I told you about that prior. I could never be with a dude, and me and a girl is going back and forth. We in our little, petty female arguments, and then he jumps in. No, my wife, my girlfriend, she did this. You're not gonna say that about. I would turn around, stop the argument I'm having with this heifer, and cuss him out. Go watch the game. Get the car or something. Hold my purse. But don't you dare get in a fight with me and another woman. And I think that's what I don't like about Todd, because I started out really liking him. I do not like how he sits down and gossips with his wife. I do not like how he goes after anybody that has a problem with Candy. I get it. You love and protect your wife, but I feel like you're doing the most. It's too much, and I feel like you're doing the most to secure the bag, because Todd is not trying to lose Candy's bank account. Can we tell the truth and shame the devil? This dude is riding hard for Candy for several reasons, okay? Housing, food, clothing, opportunities. So I get it. You know what I mean? I get it. I'm not hating, but I just, it grinds my gears to see like husbands or boyfriends go after the other woman that your girl or your wife is having an issue with. I hate it. I hate it so much, because I always stop and I'm just like, what are you doing? Like, it's sexy to me when a guy's just like, oh, y'all doing this again, honey. And, just really gives you the truth of the matter, because a lot of times women, we are very emotional and we get caught up in our emotions. And there are so many times we've been in arguments, and then after it's done, it's just like, yeah, we didn't need to go there. Like, I didn't need to say that about her weave. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I just look to a man as like a calming partner to just be like, no, this is not okay. You know what I mean? Like, and the same thing for women. Like, we do that for men. Men get very heated, and we have to stop them from killing each other. So I just hate. I really hate the how easily bruised their like machismo is. It bothers me. You know the husbands that I like, although they are nutty in the fruitcake, I love the Real Housewives of New Jersey husbands. They don't get involved. They don't get involved in none of that stuff with the women. They just be like, oh, there the girls go again. Like, they don't, like, they just stay out of it. Let the broads fight. We're going to go in the kitchen. You know what I mean? They don't get into it. You know, they're just like, let them fight. We're going to go in the backyard and smoke some cigars. And they don't get into it. And that's what I really like about those husbands. The only time they ever chime in is when, you know, when it gets to that level. But a lot of the times they've tried and they've done their hardest to stay out of the mess with the women. Real Housewives of Atlanta, Peter Thomas, Todd, you know what? It's only you two. Stop auditioning for a peach. It will not happen. Please stay in a husband's place on this show. You are doing too much. Phaedra. Oh, girl. I don't know how you can come back from this. You was the one who dropped the tea. Oh, Lord. Now, see, this is how you end the show. So, Andy is still on Lesbian Gate, and I'm over it. I'm like falling asleep in this chair. And then Portia says, well, I think they do like the coming up. Portia says, well, I'll have Phaedra speak on it because I received a cease and desist letter from Candy about this. So I'm just going to have Phaedra talk about it since she was the one who told me that they wanted to drug me. Phaedra! Keep her on the show. Keep her on the show, man. She dropping bombs like Lisa Rinna. What? Girl. Phaedra. Oh, Phaedra, I hope it's, oh, girl, for your sake, I hope you got some receipts. Oh, Faye, I don't know, girl. Oh, man. Oh, next season is going to be horrific. Oh, gosh, next season is just, you thought that this was brutal. Next season is just going to be UFC. Oh, my gosh. But, you know, keep her on the show. You know, guys, it's entertaining. As someone who works in the entertainment industry, get at me. I'm on IMDb, ho. This is good. This is good TV. Like, my jaw dropped. I'm into it now. I'm anticipating the next episode. I think she's good for the show. You know, she's messy. Phaedra is messy. Portia is the young weakling, the one whose mind is easily manipulated. Cynthia Bailey is the, sorry to say it, no shade, I like you as a person, but just on the show, is the flunky friend who will go every which way and who's always trying to bring peace. Kenya is the villain. You gotta have a villain on the show. Candy is the sweetheart. And Sheree is the gossip. So everybody has a role to play. I like them. I really, really do. I think my only addition would probably be Marlo, just because she brings fashion. I don't think any of them were bringing fashions this season. She brings fashions and she brings drama, and she will get into an argument with every and anybody, and she's not afraid of neither one of them. That's what you need. You need somebody who doesn't have an alliance, who is not afraid. I also would like Andy, please, whatever you got to pay her, please bring Nene back. She is the comic relief of this show. This show used to be hilarious. It is not that anymore. And I feel like with this bomb that was just dropped, next season is going to be a war zone. And we need somebody who will give us unlimited GIFs and memes. And Nene Leakes will do that along with Marlo. Please bring them back. Make them work it out, any issue they have over money, make them work it out so they can come back as besties and really, just be, the viewer's voice and just be observing all the drama that's going on. I really hope that happens. If not, I'll still be there. I'm loyal to all of these housewife shows. I've been there from the beginning. I'll be there in the end. Anyway, I'll see you next week for the finale of Real Housewives of Atlanta. Oh, Phaedra. Oh, you messy girl.